Just like the rest of the series, the finale to Secret Invasion had some good to it, and some bad. I feel like this may have been the most conflicting MCU series so far for me. Some of the shows so far I've loved each and every week, others less so, and some like Moon Knight had me until the finale. But maybe it's because I know how good this series could have turned out that I feel conflicted over the end product. This is a big story in the comics, and while the Skrulls' time on Earth isn't over yet, there was a lot packed into only 6 episodes, and even more left out. There were times when the story felt very rushed, and I think maybe the series would have benefited from another episode or two to slow down and spend more time with certain storylines, and really dive into that thriller and suspense genre. I've already given up on the darker and more mysterious style that I was expecting from this series, but this episode in particular felt very rushed. It kept jumping from storyline to storyline, because it had a lot to accomplish as the finale of the series. It would be at Gravik for one big moment, cut away to the president for a minute, and then be back at Gravik, and it really made certain moments feel insignificant because of how quickly they were brushed over. Going more into this finale specifically, there were really 2 main storylines throughout the episode, although there were some other scenes that cut away from our main cast of characters. There was a decent bit of action on either side, but the big finale action sequence that these shows are known for came from Gravik and Gaia. The twist made a lot of sense given how the story was shaping up, but it was still something that I never really considered. Because of Gaia's absence to end the 5th episode, I had completely forgotten about her character coming into this episode, which I think says a lot about how they developed her here. I didn't really care about how her story concluded, because I never really cared about her in the first place. The details throughout the conversation with Gravik also did a good job of selling the twist though, like the effect of the radiation. It was a good job of continuity in regards to the brief comment from earlier in the series about the radiation not harming the Skrulls, hence the reason they set up a camp in an old nuclear plant. Back when I still believed it was actually Nick Fury, it was apparent that he didn't stand a chance against Gravik, so I was interested to see how it would play out. I half expected him to just die from the radiation, but the conversation here adds a lot of purpose and reasoning behind both characters, summed up into a short dialogue, although the revelation that it wasn't actually Fury does kinda take away the value of everything he said. We learn that, just like Priscilla, Gravik's appearance has a larger reasoning behind it. It's the first human he ever killed for Fury. There's a lot of emotion and pain behind Gravik in this scene, and it does humanize him a bit and make the audience empathize with him, because we see the toll that working for Fury and hurting people for him took on Gravik, and probably the other Skrulls too. Eventually Gravik gets his hands on the DNA samples of the heroes, and it's a long list, some of which that don't really make sense, since it's not really anything with their DNA that gives them the powers or makes them super. We get to see the machine used again as both Gravik and Fury are inside, and this did make me wonder if this means the DNA is gone. Gaia has the powers now, but nobody else is capable of getting them. Because Fury was in the machine when it was used, I half expected it to just kill him, and once the fight begins, he fights back, and I don't even know what my reaction to Fury having powers was. It was cool, but it was also concerning a bit given how he had just said it was a relief to die. But we get the reveal that Gaia was disguised as Fury, and I liked the touch of smoke in the scene, making it much more cinematic. There were times when the visual effects looked off during the fight, and with a few other moments later on, like the very end when Fury is leaving Earth again, but it wasn't anything too bad that I couldn't look beyond. Both Gaia and Gravik end up with every power from the DNA, which made the fight we got interesting, but ideally I would have liked to see more of them showcased in a longer fight. Especially since they're both practically invincible, the fight could have gone on for pretty much forever. Going on to the other storyline from the finale, it focuses pretty much on the President and Rhodes. The Skrull imposters seemed much more aggressive and insulting than the real Rhodes, and very adamant about going to war with the Russians, so I feel like someone would point it out or at least start to get suspicious about it. But then again, a lot was rushed with the series, and we didn't have time for something slower like that, although it would have fit much better with the mystery and suspense that I was looking forward to. This also made me think about how long Rhodes and some of the other people had been replaced for. When Gaia frees them all at the end after killing Gravik, all she says is a long time, so this could potentially be dating back to Endgame or even beforehand. I don't know if it's something we'll ever get the truth about, but it could put a twist on not only upcoming projects, but also past ones. I was also glad that Sonya had a major role in the episode, and wasn't put on the shelf completely. With how the episode ends with her approaching Gaia to work together, these two characters have been set up to be very important to the future of the MCU and Earth. Events play out, Rhodes is revealed to be a Skrull, and because of this, the president makes a speech starting a war with all off-world born species on Earth. 1. I feel like some other people have to be consulted here other than just the President of the United States, no matter how important he is. And 2. Why does it always seem like the government is being an unnecessary problem? This is going to lead to a lot of infighting, and I'm interested to see not only how it plays out, but also where, since there hasn't really been a series or movie announced that could continue this other than maybe Captain America 4. We get a taste of the impact that declaration of war has near the end, as we see hit squads taking out both Skrulls and humans they believe to be Skrulls. This is going to become a very violent world now, and I think this is an impact that we could see across just about every project that takes place on Earth in the future. It also makes me question how this will impact some other non-Skrull aliens, someone like the Guardians of the Galaxy, people that have been actively and publicly fighting for Earth and the safety of humans, but are technically included in this declaration. There's a lot in the finale that impacts the MCU going forward. Whether you enjoyed it or not, this was a game-changing series. What did you think of the finale of Secret Invasion? Let me know in the comments below. Remember to like the video, and subscribe for more MCU content, and remember to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Thank you all for watching, and remember, the Force will be with you, always.